Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, our Selden District denizens try to figure out who the people who want their attention are and how far to trust them. Hello and welcome. I'm Adam, your friendly neighborhood game master, and joining me are...
Hello, I'm Drew, and I'll be playing Cato Burke, who is neither rich nor text.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'll be playing Callisto Armitage, but as you guessed it, that's Officer to you.
Hi, I'm Dez, and I'll be playing Luke Byrne, better known as Matchstick, and I'll be judging you for your OPSEC.
My name is Nick, and I will be playing Ing. He's an android, and you may be too. How would you know?
How
There's
would
discourse
you
about
know?
that on Tumblr.
Isn't there like an entire test about that?
I mean,
If it goes
Turing
wrong, it
test
just tests
aside,
whether you're a
sure.
lesbian, I think. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. I would not even think the Turing test. You just select all the pictures that have a street light in them, right?
I think you
By
have
that-
Might be the opposite of the test. Maybe those were selected by androids. Maybe there's more androids than you think. And
I think you have very different experiences of CAPTCHAs than I do.
I mean, in
yeah.
actual fact, what the CAPTCHAs are doing are training the androids to pass the CAPTCHAs, which is
Yes.
there's layers to this. It's CAPTCHAs the whole way down.
My experience with CAPTCHAs is that I am much more exacting than their algorithm is, so I will pick all the ones that have a piece of a bike in them, and it'll be like, I don't believe you're not a robot. Do it again. All right, fine. Yeah. Fortunately, this is not a setting in which there's usually ambiguity about whether or not a player character is an android, although I suppose there could be some philosophical questions about what the exact sort of lines are. But having established that, we can probably get right into our recap of last time, which in this case is going to come from Ing.
Right. Well, my day began with a kind of loud noise outside of the room. And there was this mural outside that was being grey ghosted or painted over. And I don't mind saying it scared the shit out of me. I thought we were under attack and I had a bit of a flashback, I suppose. I guess that played into me being on edge and nearly had it out with Cal. But that's a conversation I think that's has been aborted for the time being. Meanwhile, Cato and Byrne found that there's either an incursion attempt on our sleeping monstrosity or device that we had liberated. My guess is that it might have been from that ferret droid that I saw before. We did our best to kind of wall off the enclosure. The whole frontispiece is a bit more secure than it was before physically, but we'll see. Later on, there was a bit of a power struggle, really, between Cal and Byrne. It had the trappings of a childish, let me in, no I won't, ask nicely, but I don't know. I think that there was more going on there than meets the eye. Then, in the midst of it all, some bloke called Canopus entered the frontispiece. Was really a bit mysterious at first. We, looking for particular books, just browsing bit by bit by bit. And it turned out was really kind of looking to, I think, investigate more about our sleeping passenger. And said that they'd be back next week. we did get a credit card that said that their real name was Caleb Dryden. Later on, gosh, I wish I had some connective tissue, but Cal was called into her job and yelled at by her boss, Tupper, for the warehouse fire. And finally, Cato was contacted by both Bronwy and KB. No, Cato contacted Bronwy, asking whether we are being targeted by someone, and K&B contacted Cato to see if it's all good with Byrne. So we're still working out, I think, overall, who to trust, who not to trust. And that includes each other, but more and more so, it seems like our true enemies are lurking in the shadows beyond this inner circle, such as it is. We'll see what happens next.
Thank you so much. That does bring us right up to the present. Cato will have just gotten the message from K&B asking if Matchstick is mad at her because she thinks that she's been blocked. And we'll resume play here in the Frontispiece at around 1 p.m. on Saturday, January the 4th, 2020. Take it away, probably, Cato, having received this message.
Yeah, my immediate response is, did you ask 3 to 6 questions consecutively without offering answers or information?
You get a series of about 25 periods all in a row, followed by all lowercase, maybe.
Yeah, here's your problem. Not sure whether he's mad, but you might be on timeout. Can I help?
Responds, well, that's good to know. And good to know that someone's at least as paranoid as I am. Well, I'm hoping you can help. A pause if you wish to respond, but you do get the little notification that another message is forthcoming should you choose to wait.
I very actively do not respond.
Very well. So,
in fact, you know what I do? I begin to tap out a message, then I delete it.
So, you get, after a short interval, a fair amount of text. I hope you can help, but I was hoping that Matchstick could help. I'm pretty good at all this, but somebody seems to have made, well, if not me, then at least one of my presences, and I think I'm going to need some on-the-ground assistance to get out of trouble. I was hoping that Byrne could help me. I don't know if you can convince him to open the messaging back up, or maybe you can help. Sort of little shrugging emoticon, and then a little like hands clasped in front emoticon.
To Canby, I say, what kind of help are you looking for? And at the same time, or roughly the same time, to Byrne, I say, Canby might be in unrelated trouble, or maybe related trouble.
Huh.
K&B responds a little evasively with corporate trouble. I may or may not have accessed something and used it to make something.
Since we have a secure channel, I convey this to Byrne.
No answers with no help without explanation.
Are you communicating this to Cato or to K&B?
Cato.
Very well.
Congrats, Dad. You're a go-between. That
can
was
Byrne
not
come
in
out
character.
and play? The message says, "Can Byrne come out and play?" Can Matchstick come out and play? I say that that rule about questions might also apply to requests without explanations. And this isn't me talking. This is the one who's more equipped to help.
KMB says, thought that might be the case. Tell you what, I'll give as much information as I can. How about we do a little virtual get together this evening? If you want to be there to mediate, you don't have to, but I'll send along a link to my secure server's avatar chat so that we can do this a little more efficiently.
Sounds good, and rest assured, I wouldn't miss the opportunity to be a go-between.
You get an elaborate, like probably 3 or 4 line, something between an emoticon and an ASCII, of a tremulously smiling face giving a foregrounded thumbs up.
I respond with something similar, but much worse.
And that is, for now, the end of the communication between you and K&B.
Yeah, I convey. In fact, I straight up show the log, as it were, a screenshot, whatever mechanism is the most available to me, to Burn.
The fact that it's not on neutral ground. Expected, but also a frustration. Guess we're doing this, though.
Seems like doing it in some form is probably not a bad idea, but I think if you responded and asked for a change of venue, well, I think Canby would just be happy you responded.
Is there a way to set up, Adam, some manner of neutral ground such that we would not be, per se, walking into a digital trap that does not require letting K&B with unknown motivation or subordinateness onto my turf?
Not without involving a third party. It's going to be either, if you're going to trust the security of the digital environment, then I'm guessing you're going to want it to be your, secure environment, but that would then invite a well-known hacker into your secure environment.
Yeah, that one.
And so similarly, the invitation is double-edged because K&B is inviting a reasonably well-known hacker into her secure digital environment, but also has control of that secure digital environment. So if you wanted to set up some kind of neutral ground, it would probably involve getting a third party involved to set up a secure digital environment in their system that all parties could then come and meet in, and that would require you to trust that uninvolved third party and also then conduct your business in a way that it is not entirely impossible they could surveil our store.
Currently, I'm Switzerland, but I'm also not a hacker. So.
Right.
This brings up the question, could this avatar chat run on the software that governs your arms? This is a joke.
It was a really good joke. It was what they call a thinker in the business. It's something that I'm going to be contemplating for quite a while.
As long as we're brainstorming ideas, could we hook up some electrical signals to the arm that I keep in the potted plant area and have K&B do sign language through the arm as a kind of secure meat space, but operated remotely, kind of a solution to things?
Secure meat space. Yeah. MEAT, I assume, just as much as the other.
So I think what the fundamental question that you were asking Cato then is, do their arms run Doom?
More or less, yes.
I would, yeah. Wow. Okay, there's so much to think about, and none of it is pertinent to the actual plot going on right now. I'm going to try to silence these background processes in my brain as necessary.
Yeah, we have started writing a piece of short fiction by Philip K. Dork.
Damn fine screen name.
Honestly, that's a hell of a pen name right there.
It is.
Nice.
Dibs.
By all means.
So, what do you think? It's not as though we'd just be trapped in there with her. She'd be trapped in there with us. More to the point, you.
Yes. There's risk, but There's risk either way. There is no situation while alive that is without risk.
That's a good thing to remember, yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I know. I say, not unkindly. I hope that came across.
Oh, yeah. No, it's clear.
I mean, we can say no, as far as that goes. I feel we're in a holding pattern, Not knowing who to trust, which is wise. But not trusting anyone is, well...
Folly.
It lets other people make moves while we're not making any.
Right, yeah, no. She's trying, and she's either setting us up masterfully or in earnest, and I don't think she's that good an actress, so let's go with it.
This could be messing you up as much as it is because she's exactly what she appears to be.
Which, who fucking does that?
It's kind of gauche, but here we are.
All right. I'll leave her. Leave her on.
I send K&B a screenshot of you saying "all right." No other part of the conversation. Did I interrupt somebody though? This might be a marker.
Yeah, at a dramatically appropriate moment, I'd like to ask Cato a brief kind of question or have a brief conversation.
Yeah, I think we've closed that that first negotiation. So bring it on.
All right, and presumably I'm just kind of hanging out the store in the wake of Canopus's visit. Is that right?
Yeah. So, yeah. As far as I know, everybody is still in the frontispiece.
All right,
and we're.
In fact, I look up and as though to say, "Oh, right, you're both still here." I give a summary of what has just occurred. I do sort of love that you've both been watching this tense negotiation, and maybe only catching some of it.
I pretend as though I have not been watching, but have taken interest in a textbook that I'm clearly not reading nor understanding. I will let you know. I will let you choose which textbook I picked up.
Oh, it's about civil forfeiture, actually. Law, the history. I say you can keep that one if you want, and I give you a grin.
The software that runs your Ogverts starts reading excerpts from the questions for review.
Well, now that you've looked up from your text messaging device, I'd like to just say, Cato, not to be a ratbag about things, but you had mentioned, this job of getting this device, and that there might be some kind of a payment coming from that. Now, I recognize that we're still in the mix. There's lots of things still going on. I'm with you till the end. Just wondering whether there's some kind of an incremental payment in the future. Again, not to be gauche about things, but, money's a bit tight.
Sure. Yeah. No, generally, if it's on the books work in the shop, we pay bi-weekly. But if it's something else, then half up front, half after is perhaps more appropriate. I don't have any cash, so this will involve me embezzling in front of the officer, I say out loud.
I roll my eyes and hold the textbook higher as though to hide my face.
Point of order question, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Economic shock?
Is before you start a mission. So it is looming on the horizon, but has not been rolled just yet.
Delightful.
Yeah, so I removed from the coffers of the frontispiece half of what one would pay a robotics expert if one were trying to be fair, but also the budget was tight.
I'm going to call that, for purposes here, 2 cash.
Cool.
I am now at 2 cash. Thank you.
Let me make a note.
And to be clear, you never have to ask to be compensated for work. If you ever have specific requests as far as the timing, discretion, etc., don't be shy.
Right. Well, much obliged. Thank you. Didn't want to make it a thing, and it hasn't been. So much appreciated. And like I said, still seems like we're in this together. The initial job is done, but not finished.
Not a bit. We are, whatever else we are, definitely in this together. And I'm glad you're here. You and your little friends.
I'm glad I'm here too. And Ing, looks, a little bit moved to the extent that you could read robotic expressions.
Yeah, my understanding is that Ing's sort of facialer area is mostly rigid and static, but has maybe some sort of, light outputs, that can be expressive. And I would wager, Ing, that your body language is pretty expressive most of the time.
Yeah. Mm.
One of my eyes, both of which are purple, but one of which is more purple than the other. The more purple one, the iris rotates like a camera aperture. I smile and I put an arm on Ing's shoulder, the big arm, gently.
Mm. Mm.
There's a clunk noise, but it's not very loud.
I continue to pretend to read the textbook that I'm not paying any attention to.
This one is actually a used textbook. So the only thing that catches your eye is a doodle in the margin that is cartoony but very identifiable, of sort of a mischievous comics style child peeing on a PSS moped.
I close the textbook. Sharp sound. And I shove it back onto the shelf and pull out another.
The discussion questions from your arm continue from the first textbook.
I ignore it pointedly.
Yeah, I'm assuming that pretty much everybody is ignoring the discussion questions. They are mostly sort of very bland history comprehension questions mixed with somewhat arcane legal questions. In the meantime, Cato, you get, instead of like an IM, more of like an email from the same sort of unregistered account that KMB has been using to message you, and it has what has the appearance of like an invite generated from an app, like we would see from like a Zoom meeting invite or something, except that it is all done through typography, so like kind of ASCII style. She appears to have taken the time to replicate the general layout and components of one of these invites, but with nothing but keyboard strokes. And there is a link there to what is essentially a very long sort of hash address and some partially obfuscated login information at the bottom, the other parts of which you get more or less simultaneously or concurrently through the encrypted IM that you were communicating with before. That time is for 6 p.m. this evening. So you have a little less than 5 hours. Presumably this is going to be around the time, Cal, that you will be going to dinner. Not that I think that you all have communicated about this with each other.
Separate days.
Yeah, I thought dinner was tomorrow.
Oh, you are correct. Dinner is tomorrow. My mistake.
Well, the list of traps we're potentially walking into is expanding, as is the list of ways we're potentially getting some actual information. A day's work.
Do you need extra security?
Your arm tells you that your help would not be useful in this situation.
I don't acknowledge anything that my arm is saying.
Well, and from your perspective, Cal, like what they have essentially set up, and I don't know if they've communicated this to you in full, but presuming that some measure of communication would be forthcoming, they are essentially going to be doing something akin to VR chat. For this. So, the measurement, the assessment of the risk involved is certainly down to the person, but your logic is that, well, they're going to be paying mostly attention to what's going on in this avatar chat and not to what's going on around them in meat space. And that seems pretty obvious to you.
Might not be a bad idea to have you here, if you wouldn't mind. I mean, we're going to be paying attention to what we're going to be paying attention to, and there's a lot else to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doubling up on that. I can set my autonomous collective to surveil the area and keep an eye out. I also wouldn't mind keeping a pretty close eye on our little friend there in the basement.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? No one's going to come looking for you here, probably, but me, Byrne, they might, and, well, then there's a proximity problem.
Yeah, the device, for its part, is as inert as it has been since you installed it here. The little discolored spot on the Faraday cage remains, but you're pretty sure that you have eliminated easy points of ingress for your visitor from last night. So seems as secure as it's likely to be in your back room. Otherwise, the only thing that really occurs here is that in almost perfect sync, Burns and Cal's stomachs growl. It is getting well past lunchtime.
I have food in my room.
Didn't bring enough for the whole class, though, I assume.
None of y'all are... Well, you might come into my room. The other two, not so much.
I've learned that I may not necessarily want to go... may not want to eat the food you eat, necessarily. It's hacker food.
Extremely, yes.
Mini Doritos.
See, aren't those blue Cheetos?
Yeah, the blue Cheetos.
It's a little bit more still has a mindset of food insecurity than Doritos, but
makes sense.
And while I am in my lair, I am continuing to try to delve into the not so good officers' habits and racket.
This is going to be an ongoing process.
Yep.
So the sort of immediate information that you are able to get is that Cal's service with PSS has been relatively meritorious in terms of the records that are kept by the business and made publicly available, and you are starting to send out sort of feelers down paths that may lead you to other less bland information, and those processes continue.
Cool.
Yeah. So Byrne is eating hacker food,
but
anybody else
calorically dense,
right?
Health hacker food, I suppose.
This does just make me think that you microwaved a sweet potato and started eating it whole.
I'm not that feral anymore.
Beans and rice.
Yeah.
Beans and rice, but in a blender as a smoothie.
Oh.
No. I think
that is cursed.
I think at this point, I have a toaster oven that I put the sweet potato in and some toppings for it.
Oh, that's positively civilized. Yeah.
Right. I'm almost tame.
So instead of
the self-domestication process is ongoing.
Yeah.
You're the raccoon that comes to the porch every night.
Instead of shredded cheddar, it's Cheese Whiz.
Oh
no.
Kato, as a point of interest, do you...
Adam, it's Velveeta.
This is out of character for the time being.
Mm-hmm. I do eat. I have sort of a composite system. So what you're working with and what a purely flesh and blood person is working with, I'm somewhere in between. Some of the bits are artificial, but I do need to eat. I probably need to eat less than your average non-android, but I can't avoid the issue entirely.
Gotcha.
Or maybe you need to eat more than your average night android. This thing doesn't power itself, he said, meaning the big arm. But it works differently in any case.
In my head that you basically had like a power cell system for the big arm.
That makes sense. Yeah. That actually that might even be on the character sheet, and if it isn't, it should be. So yeah, I do. Yes, I do eat is the simple answer to your simple question. Although if you asked it in character, you probably got most of that in character.
Fair enough.
Part of my, and I think this is Byrne intruding into my own brain, thoughts on the matter is, yes, you have hair that's like solar panels, and you photosynthesize.
This makes me think of your hair then looking like Christmas tree tinsel.
Yeah, well, somewhere between Dosk and a Christmas tree. The hair's fairly short cropped and blue at the moment. But yeah, so lunch probably wouldn't go amiss.
Right. I'd love to tag along if the opportunity arises.
I suppose I'm getting hungry.
So then the question remains, I suppose, what are you eating? / where are you eating?
How far is Izakaya Po' Boy?
Oh, less than a 5-minute walk.
Oh no.
Adam inflicting maximum proximate psychic damage on us.
Yeah.
Does this mean that it's within the good officer's potential racketeering range?
Almost certainly. It is fairly new.
So you haven't set up an arrangement
enfolded yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also within delivery range of Bronwy, right? So it's sort of a neighborhood institution.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Is
institution,
that,
sure, like a prison.
Selden District is pretty compact, right? Once you carve the sort of main campus area out, what you have is sort of like a slightly curved, sort of edge, and then kind of propagation inward. And it doesn't take a whole long time, especially before classes start, to get to a place that you know the route to from any place in that, sort of, I don't know, vaguely crescent shape with corners. So yeah, it's relatively easy to get to.
Bronwy hasn't led me astray as far as sandwiches in the past, for whatever it's worth.
Oh, that wouldn't be my pick, but might as well.
And so the three of you, Byrne?
Yeah, the three of them.
All right. The three of you head to Izakaya Po' Boy.
In fact, I say on the way out, and there'll be someone around in case things happen. I tap the walls as though he could be skittering through any of them.
And how do you know I'm not?
Look, we did Something Is Wrong with This House already.
It's true. It's a good point. It's a good point.
That was a prequel.
Yeah, that was.
The thing in the walls learns to code.
Something is wrong with this hardwired island.
Robin?
As we're leaving, I mutter loud enough for the assistant to pick up, "I wish they had donuts," and then glare at the camera.
For what it's worth, I don't know that you're sure they don't have donuts, but honestly, it's a pretty safe assumption based on the kind of restaurant it is.
I'm picturing some kind of like beignet thing with matcha powder on it.
Gosh, I absolutely would not order that.
your green tea beignet. So
I'd be at least morbidly curious.
Look, I'm going to be real. I would try it.
That was largely what I meant there with morbidly curious. I wouldn't be expecting it to be good.
If it was a special, if you swore to me on a stack of Bibles that it was like this was my one chance to try it, then I would try it.
You head out to Izakaya Po'boy, and minutes later arrive to find that there are a couple other people in there. Something actually smells really good as you come in the door. Or yes, if you like seafood, it smells really good. I know there are some people who do not particularly care for seafood, but I do not understand them. Though I am fine with their tastes being what they are.
They might be androids.
Perhaps. So you come on in, and within a couple steps, you hear Sim, before you see him, saying, "Bienvenue! Oh, konnichiwa! Good to see you back! Have a seat anywhere."
Thanks, I think we will. Our usual table? I said. I think we were kind of in the back last time.
Yeah, off to one side near a fake bamboo plant.
It is now richer in bad beer.
It does smell slightly weirder than it did last time.
The beer is probably about the right temperature now that we're closer to it.
You have a seat at the table, and very quickly Sim comes on over and distributes menus. Says, "Thank y'all for coming on back. Hope you're hungry. We got po' boys on the lunch menu. If you want a soup or a gumbo, we're out of the bouillabaisse Belafontaine, but everything else we're good. So just let me know what you want. Can I get you something to drink?"
Water for me, please.
I'm parched. Water sounds great.
Excellent. Turns to Ing, is brought up a little short, and then says,
"Just the ambiance, please."
Sure. And then goes to get some waters. Perusing the menu, you find that the po' boys are basically can be sorted into three categories, though these categories do not exist on the menu. There is relatively traditional po' boys, Japanese bar food on French bread po' boys, and then fusion po' boys, which are a strange and hallucinatory grab bag of possible combinations.
Lovely.
Of course, there are also the soups in addition to the sandwiches, soups and gumbos. There's a couple other things on there as well. You notice there is an appetizer labeled Cajun nachos a la Shibuya is one of the appetizers.
Ugh.
I have no comment.
let the listener understand that a variety of facial journeys just happened.
This is one moment where radio is not sufficient. We run into those every so often.
I almost immediately settle on the traditional po' boy, very quickly skimming over the menu and then almost like slamming it on the table. But I take this opportunity to really observe, without being obvious, the other patrons in the bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at the moment, there are two other occupied tables. One is occupied by 4 people that appear to you to be students, who are all eating varieties of sandwich. And then a table occupied by 2 people who are either grad students or faculty, though maybe some combination thereof, who appear to be eating soups. Their table is seemingly what smells quite good. The students are conversing in the sort of chattery way that excited students coming back to a term tend to do. The other table is not currently conversing, being quite focused on their meal.
Okay. If they do start talking, I tune in just for the sake of it.
Yeah. In the meantime, Sim comes back with the waters and says, "So, anything strike your fancy? What can I get you?"
I'll get the traditional po' boy.
Excellent choice. That's one that I can guarantee you I'm good at.
At least he's honest.
That's the one you're good at. Which one's your favorite?
He goes, I've had a lot of fun figuring out the teriyaki chicken po' boy lately. It's got some shredded cabbage for contrast and a texture and the flavor. A little bit of the just the juice from the pickled ginger. Just kind of use as a garnish because I also marinate the chicken in it.
You know what? Contrast me, garçon. Onegaishimasu.
I order some donuts for delivery.
They will be there in 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's all fine.
Sim seems extremely happy to have repeat customers, and he comes back with your sandwiches in pretty short order. Cal, honestly, your traditional sort of beef au jus po' boy with lettuce and tomatoes looks great. The bread is fresh. He points out that he bakes it in-house every morning. And Kato, your teriyaki chicken, the sort of glaze that's been applied to it seems great. You're a little less sure about the rest of it. But trying it, it's maybe not a lost cause, but this version of it may not be its final form. It may need a little bit of tweaking. The chicken itself is very well cooked. The sauce is good. The pickled ginger marinade is maybe a bad idea. And shredded cabbage does not have any advantages over lettuce in this particular application. Bread's
Truly
great, though.
A land of contrast.
Around about the time that you are getting into your sandwich, Cal, the older pair sort of finishes their soup courses for lunch and do begin to converse, though they seem to be taking care to be quiet.
Can I bank out anything?
Well, I mean, let's have you roll for it. Look and see here.
Investigation?
Not sure it really applies here. Let's just do a straight
Clever.
cool.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess you could do clever if you are willing to be, like, sort of noticeably listening in.
I'll do cool.
Okay. So that'll be 2d6 plus 2.
Oh, I'm rolling wonderfully / terribly today. 2 2s.
All right.
So that'll be 6 total.
Yeah, they are, quiet enough that the extremely eclectic mix of music playing in Izakaya Po' Boy is enough to keep you from overhearing anything specific.
Are they near a bathroom or a place where I could try to get Sim's attention?
I mean, they are sort of all along the opposite wall. You guys are along one side wall. They're along the other side wall, a little closer to the entrance. All bathrooms and kitchens and things are further toward the back, away from the door.
Okay. I send a text in the group chat that they're having a hushed conversation.
Are there furtive glances in our direction that might suggest that we're the subject of their conversation?
No, but, sort of looking in their direction, there are emphatic but restrained gestures. Doesn't seem to be openly hostile, but maybe a little bit tense, the conversation they're having.
if I don't get a response in a timely fashion, I say, I wish we had a good enough hacker to figure out what they were saying.
That fundamentally misunderstands how hacking works, and I do not respond.
Fair enough. After an interval, Sim comes back over to see if you need anything else and to inquire as to how you are enjoying your po' boys.
I give him a curt but approving nod.
He beams at you. You're in danger of getting sunburn from the brilliance of his grin.
That'll
I look
taper
away
off
from
when
the
the
sun.
extortion kicks in.
It's a noble experiment in progress.
He gives you sort of a very serious look and a nod. He says, don't suppose you'd be willing to let me know what you think may be good changes. I'm always looking to improve my menu.
You are very good at a very specific thing that you really don't want to do.
he sort of looks at you a little bit seemingly puzzled at first, and then gets a thoughtful look and says, I think there's something to that. I appreciate your honesty. I'm trying my best to expand my horizons, I suppose. But, if it ends up with lackluster dishes going out, then, that's on me. Is there anything I can get you to improve your meal?
You are a very nice person. And don't get me wrong. It's just that over the horizon lies a new kind of simplicity.
He looks at you seriously for a moment, pulls out like a little book, the type of which some people use when they're waiting tables, and jots presumably what you just said down, and puts it back in his apron and says, no, I'm going to meditate on that. Thank you. Let me know when you're ready for the check. I appreciate you, and I hope you'll be back.
I think he's going to literally meditate. You can pick the place next time.
I feel like this is the fad of this campaign.
No, not nearly as repulsive.
No, this is not engineered to harm a specific player, so it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It's ambient psychic damage, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bit coming into it wasn't necessarily the plan, but is coming to occupy roughly the place in this campaign of a bug zapper, where you really shouldn't get close to it, but you can't help it.
How's the ambiance? This to Ing.
Yeah, it's in perhaps better than the food. But the company's immaculate. I know that I've been silent in the corner for a while. I've been pondering something, and I'm not sure that it's the right time to bring it up, but I'm not sure that there is a right time to bring it up. Cato, I'm interested in both of your thoughts on this, honestly, but Cato, you might be in a unique position to answer. With the full body prosthesis, and gender, I've been, I guess, wondering, what does it feel like to identify as the gender that you do?
I think for a moment, and then I pat the big arm with the small arm like I'm patting the hood of a car and say, this baby can fit so many genders.
Oh, I was not prepared.
There's plenty of talk about gender being a spectrum, and of course, biological sex also a spectrum, expression also a spectrum, but there's another spectrum people don't talk about, and that's gender seriousness. right? For some people, they need to be in one specific place or they're simply not happy. For others, the very idea of finding a specific place is a recipe for unhappiness. These tend to be the people who, I don't know, enter a state of gender anarchy. I think I might be the latter.
Interesting. I mean, it's
like
neither. Yeah.
In
Cal,
my
what do you think?
experience, it's kind of like trying to fit into a box that's too small. It took someone kind of pointing it out to me, but I don't know. Some people might be content in that box. I'm not.
Thought-provoking. I mean, obviously there's kind of an intent behind my design, but I'm not quite sure how that maps on. I've been going by he, him pronouns by default, because that seems to invite the fewest contradictions with assumption, but I guess I don't know how it feels to other people.
You
Well-
do whatever feels right and experiment until you get there.
That's well said. That's well said. The only thing you should probably avoid is defaulting. Or avoiding contradictions. Gender is a contradiction. Probably a series of them.
It's a lot to think on. Appreciate it. In any case, I guess our next move is just to see what next moves are made against us as we continue to probe for more information on a particular situation, huh?
Indeed. And, hey, if you ever want to talk more about that thing, it's a hard thing to start thinking about. And then once you start, it's a hard thing to stop thinking about.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I'll take you up on that.
Thank you, Cato.
Thank you. I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't expect that much candor from you on the topic.
That type of candor comes rare and few between. So enjoy it while you've got it. I take a sip out of my water pointedly like it's a beer or liquor.
I watch you slug the water down, visibly enjoying the moment, probably annoyingly.
From just a few feet away, Sim chimes in, I mean, what is gender but a miserable pile of contradictions, eh? And then puts the check down on the table and says, when you're ready, and walks off.
As I did last time, I leave a tip on a meal that I didn't eat.
Yeah, I think we pay and remove ourselves from the situation.
So, you pay, leave a tip. Sim takes the check graciously, but others are coming in that he must seat. And so you head out, heading back, I assume, to the frontispiece.
As we walk out, can I do one last-ditch effort at trying to eavesdrop on the pair that are talking in hushed tones?
Mm-hmm. Give me a cool roll if you would. 2d6 plus 2 for our listeners.
Oh, I'm up to 8 at least. A 5 and a 1 plus 2.
Okay, so as you are passing by, you are better able to hear them. And you do, in fact, get, if nothing else, one of them is, as you are passing by, referring to the other by name. So you learn that the one who looks younger is named Kova. But they do notice you sort of passing relatively close to their table and clam up at that point. So that's really all you get.
Oh, I'll be running that name later.
Mm-hmm. And so you are out on the street. Are we then heading back to the frontispiece?
Do my donuts arrive before they get there?
Just before they get there, they will in fact pass the delivery person leaving the frontispiece. and donuts are indoors when they arrive.
The box is left in the common space.
Having just eaten, I ignore it.
I do smirk upon seeing the donuts. Sort of
your interface lets you know that there is a French cruller in the cabinet for you.
You get terrible ASCII art of sort of an appreciative Frenchman, beret and all.
Given that, I have to assume that this is not the first time you've deployed that one, so...
No, I've used it several times and it hasn't gotten better.
There hasn't been any particular occurrence other than the delivery of donuts at the Frontispiece while they've been gone, and they get back just after 2 p.m. So you've got a few hours until Cato and Burns' appointment. If there's anything in particular anybody wants to get up to, this is a good time to let me know. Otherwise, we can skip ahead.
I'm going to look up Kova on 2 different platforms. The first is the GPol website as a whole, and also I'm running it through the PSS records to see if there's anything on Kova in those.
Okay. PSS doesn't have anything on anybody named Kova, but a broader search will turn up a frequently photographed fellow, so you know it's the same guy, named Kova Levy, who is part of the Singularist movement associated with AI research. There's not a ton of super concrete information, mostly pop-sci puff pieces.
Interesting. All right.
I do a little bit of bookkeeping. I think I maybe say that if Ing wouldn't mind doing some inventory in the meantime, we got to make sure that we've got everything in case we have some latecomers, as we sometimes do.
Yeah, happily.
In the books, I make sure to note that I spent 2 cash worth on repairs for the shop.
And it is so. Inventory gets started. Though not finished before you will have to keep your appointment.
I basically take every opportunity I can to indirectly needle the officer.
With permission, I use some of the various kind of materials, electronics, and oils and whatnot to do some basic maintenance on myself.
Okay.
The equivalent of eating or daily upkeep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go crazy. Or prevent yourself from going crazy, whatever you prefer.
And reimburse appropriately for, token amounts.
Sure. After
there's whatever you need is probably in and around, since I have many of the same needs.
So, in this way, a few hours pass, and it is getting to be time for Cato and Byrne to keep their appointment with K&B.
Did we talk about Kova as a group, or is that this is just Cal No currently?
I probably kept that to myself.
Cool.
All right.
Could be something, could not, so no need to share it.
Anything that you're looking up on your phone, I'm probably snooping on, or trying to.
Currently, I'm going to say that means that the looking into Kova goes into a sizable and growing pile of, I don't think this is a term of art, but I'm going to call it slush data in your ongoing snooping that will be available to you next you try to sort through all of the various things you've turned up on Cal.
I'm assuming after a few efforts at needling me, I get the sense that I'm being surveilled, so I start pointedly looking up things like, what is wrong with this upcoming generation?
Your returns start coming back, police and capitalism.
So just to make sure that I'm interpreting this correctly, you are needling Cal by doing man-in-the-middle attacks on their searches.
It escalates to that.
Okay. That might be among the most petty things I've ever imagined anybody doing with a computer, which is to say, marvelous. Bravo.
The kid are all right.
They certainly is.
Where are Cato and Byrne going to be physically while their attention is mostly on this meeting with Canby?
Assuming you permit it, I would guess the best place to hook into to any kind of network or alternate reality or whatever would be in your lair. You would have all of the stuff to make sure it's as safe as it can be.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I enter the lair.
You are welcome.
Lair. Sorry, you enter the lair. And for both of you, it's relatively straightforward to, your preference, AR, VR, overlay, however you want to do it. This is probably a good time to ask, do you have standard, online avatar designs? Are you using off the shelf, or what is going to appear in the other person's interface when you are in avatar
most
chat?
Of the time, unless I say otherwise, if it is for someone who knows me as Matchstick, I appear as a slightly sharper edged than the comparison suggests. Legally distinct from Clippy, but it's a match.
I love this.
It looks like you're trying to learn about fucking OPSEC.
It looks like you're trying to communicate nefarious activities. Are you sure you don't want to encrypt that?
I look like Hecate, which is to say I wear a long flowing robe and I've got multiple faces, multiple torsos, depending on which way you're looking. I'm a non-Euclidean Hecate, so the number might change depending on the angle. But yeah, fifth dimensional witch. Long flowing robe, sort of a pointed hat, which you do not associate with Hecate, but again, the point changes depending on the angle of approach, and the faces, none are quite like the other, and yet they're all quite like the others.
All right.
I love this.
I also love this.
Yeah.
Also, can fit so much gender.
The long flowing robe makes which body is which gender somewhat ambiguous, which is part of the gag. But a careful or interested observer would note that they are not all the same body from a gender perspective either.
So with that, dichotomy set
right.
up.
So you enter what is essentially the waiting room to log in here with your very, very divergent avatars.
And I am already reaching out to make sure that it's not going to be attaching or piggybacking or anything like that. I am not going hostile to it, but
sure. For giggles, let's have you roll a hacking.
Sure.
Which is +6 for you.
Yes, so that is a total of 15.
You very quickly get the basic shape of this digital environment, and honestly, I feel like very few things that you don't design yourself pass muster, so I'm not going to dictate to you that it passes muster, but perhaps at least a little bit of grudging respect for the sanitation of this digital space is in order.
Okay.
the wallpaper, as it were, is not super sophisticated, but is intending to give off swanky Prohibition era elevator with smooth jazz piped in at a low volume. And then maybe 75 seconds after you have arrived, the elevator doors pring, and then open. And in front of you is a comparatively very spare digital space. Again, not a lot of bells and whistles, but some imposing but distinct from one another chairs in a pretty blank space. The walls themselves are just basic concrete texture, but they do have a number of personalized decorations on them that feel like they are dorm room adjacent. Two are skeuomorphic, meant to look like posters affixed to a physical wall. One for a band called the Fruits of Knowledge, and one for a drag performer who appears to be an android called Rococo Basilisk.
That was a direct hit. That's beautiful. I love that, Adam.
The listener can't see me, but I'm flourishing a bow. The other decorations are less skeuomorphic. They are animations or effects or just text embedded in the wall. Basically, the other bits are reminiscent of like forum signatures in their aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in a posture that perfectly splits the difference between enthusiastic youth pastor and gothic gargoyle, on a three-legged stool that is way taller than it needs to be, is a digital avatar that, if you are familiar with Bridget from Guilty Gear, but can imagine her in denim jacket, white t-shirt, and ripped blue jeans, but barefoot, is perched there, waving at you as you come in.
Matchstick knobs.
I wave 8 hands.
K&B is smiling and kind of chuckling, and says, I always love meeting with people this way because I love seeing what they come up with. These are great. Are they, did you build them?
Mine was a commission.
Ooh.
Multiple voices say this at once.
Excellent taste. I'm assuming that is Hecate.
It's always nice to hear when one has read a bit, or at least been online.
And then KAB
built
points
mine
to Matchstick. And it's beautiful. I love the lack of subtlety. She gestures.
We know who that's for.
Cowards.
She gestures to any of the half dozen empty seats of various unnecessarily dramatic kinds, and says, I appreciate you coming, agreeing to come. Feel free to poke around. It's as secure as I can make it.
Reasonable.
This is a high compliment coming from him.
She chuckles a little bit. She says, I wouldn't take it any other way. I'll get right down to it, I guess. if that's okay.
Of course.
It's actually probably good that you're both here. I don't know precisely what companies Hecate you have dealing with, but so are you familiar with large language models?
There is a bare hint of the match striking.
These are the large-scale theft bots.
Glorified autocomplete.
She points first at Hecate and then at Matchstick, nodding. Okay, good. So, I might have accessed some code and training corpus information without permission and used it to reverse engineer a tool that can identify text, images, audio, or video that has been produced with the tools made by a certain group of companies. And yesterday, I might have posted a tool that I reverse engineered for people to use to identify when those things have been used and or automatically block content that score above a certain threshold on the probability of those tools having been used to generate it. Unfortunately, it seems that I guess data theft laws only apply to the little guy. And, well, the corporations are currently tracking down my meat identity to try and sue me. If they can prove that I had access to the code base and training corpus, then they'll be able to not only get damages from me, but patent my tools and offer them for money to people who want to circumvent content produced by their tools. Presumably whitelist their advertisers. I just don't want them to have it. So I tried to go back in and erase my tracks, but it seems like somebody will actually need to be on site at least one of the company's buildings in order to do that. Does that sound like something you're equipped to handle? Because I'm not. And I don't want to get sued, and I really don't want companies like Vrutech to have, the ability to sell circumvention of their tools as well as their tools. I mean, that just seems frustrating.
Several pairs of fingers, several sets of fingers, several pairs of hands have steepled. I am rotating slowly. Matchstick would hear a thunk as I turn the voice modulator off and say, "That's pretty interesting. And we might be able to help. What do you think?" This too, Burn.
What do I know about Vrutech, Adam?
Well, one thing you know from living in the Frontispiece is that Vrutech has among its various functions the contract for managing digital textbooks at GPol.
Ooh. I will look. Well, no. So over the course of the may-haves and might-haves and potential consequences, hypothetically speaking, the match will have in fact ignited. And offline, I will mention they make textbooks. So that's a thing. Online.
Have we actually established whether we're wearing headsets here, by the way?
My assumption is that, Kato, you wouldn't necessarily have to, and that Burn kind of probably has a couple options.
Yep.
Yeah.
My eyes are glazed, but when you mention that Vrutec makes textbooks, the lower half of my face becomes a wolfish grin.
If we can get me on site and secure for some amount of time, both of these are reasonable ifs, I understand. Then what is their cybersecurity reputation?
Vrutec's?
Yeah.
The biggest part of their cybersecurity reputation is that students at GPol absolutely fucking hate their DRM scheme and are in something of a low-key arms race with the company about circumventing it.
So what I'm hearing is I already have experience circumventing their DRM for GPol students.
Yeah. Now, that is only on the digital textbook side of their business. Beyond that, they have a little bit less of like an overt reputation. They're one of the companies who have started to get into algorithmic computing in like a major way. What is interesting here, of course, is that AI is like a different thing in setting, right? Like Ing is AI.
You're right. There's real AI.
But the functions that are currently, as we're recording this in the real world, being referred to somewhat erroneously as AI, Vrutec is one of maybe like the first handful of Grand Cross companies to be kind of trying to monetize it in a major way. Yeah, Burn, you'll probably also know that they're considered sort of the scrappy dark horse of that particular race.
So they don't have as much of a budget.
Some of the ones that they are sort of competing with are properly cartel corporations, whereas they only aspire to be.
Yeah. Okay. This may be feasible. I don't want to guarantee results, obviously. There's still a great deal of outstanding what the fuck. But I'll set that aside for now. This all at KMB.
KNB's avatar claps her hands in front of her and says, "That's the most I can ask, really. I appreciate any help you can offer, and I'll do my best to make sure that, I repay you however I can. I mean, I'm really good in cyberspace. It's the meat space part of this that gives me a bit of an issue."
So two pointers, I suppose. One, are you able to shift shop, as it were?
Able, probably at some cost, but maybe necessary.
It may be a thing to consider. And the other thing is, in this training data that you hypothetically accessed, was there anything in there that was copyrighted?
Oh, most of it, certainly.
If you happen to be able to offer it up as evidence to sources, that may cause interesting problems for Vrutec.
She kind of taps on her chin a little bit and says,
obviously the delivery of that presents some potential risk further to you. I would do that before moving shop if you plan to.
I think I can probably make something work. Yes, no, this is helpful. I wasn't really thinking too much about the legality on their end, because I was worried about the legality on my end. But you make a good point.
This would be unlikely to be sufficient to do much more than cause hard negotiations or, a lawsuit or whatever, but it would certainly attract attention, and not just Vrutek, and the more attention that Vrutek doesn't have on their security is the better for both of us.
She nods thoughtfully. Yes. No, that makes sense. Jumping to the real world for just a moment. Ing, Cal, you've been just kind of standing guard while this is going on?
Yeah, my droid's on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of scoping out the place. And I think that my physical body is near the inert device that we've got. Just
The hopefully
And
still
Cal?
inert device.
I am essentially taking the rounds,
Mhm.
the frontispiece, as much as I am able.
Sure.
And as I do so, I'm simultaneously checking Bacon on my phone just to see if anything interesting has popped up.
No particular change on Bacon since you checked it in conjunction with the auction. And everything seems relatively, quiet, chill, up until around about the point where the conversation in the avatar chat is at the point it's at now, at which point, Ing, you're not sure you hear anything at first, but then you do kind of, sort of focus in and are able to verify that the device is not moving, does not seem entirely powered on. So at first you're not sure if you've heard anything, Ing, but over the course of a few minutes you become sure that you are hearing something. And while to all external appearances the device remains totally inert, there's no whirring, no lights, no sign of power being restored, very, very softly you can hear it reciting digits of pi.
as soon as I become aware of the sound resolving into something recognizable and understand, to the extent that I'm able right now, what's happening, I would like to relay this to my friends.
Mm-hmm. So you do receive, all of you receive the message, even those in the avatar chat, pretty much at the point where the conversation had gotten to previously.
I pull my gun on it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it is seemingly fully inert.
Yeah, I don't discharge
Mhm.
my weapon for obvious reasons. I am awaiting further input, but
Mhm.
just on the off chance it starts to so much as twitch or look suspicious, my firearm is at the ready.
Mhm.
Point of order question.
Mhm.
If Cal is in the same room, is Cal hearing the pie as well?
It is extraordinarily quiet. And Ing made the point of saying he was close to it, sort of watching over it, whereas Cal's making rounds. So Cal certainly can be in the space.
Mm-hmm.
But between android senses and proximity, at the moment, only Ing can hear it. If it gets louder, Cal probably will as well. So far, it has not gotten louder.
That was mostly a is Ing potentially being compromised question.
No, this is auditory.
But if nobody else can hear it just yet, then who knows? So yeah, I had been sitting fairly near it, trying to absorb the vibes.
And such vibes there are now.
And as a point of clarification, it is currently bound, is that correct?
Yeah. No outward physical indication that it is any more active than it's been since you installed it here. Just the very, very vaporously soft sound of digits of pi.
All right. I speak softly, just saying, they're there, friend. Seems like perhaps you're stirring. But as long as you don't try to hurt us, we will not be trying to hurt you.
Make a cool roll for me, please. That's going to be +2.
6 on the dice for a total of 8.
Diplomacy with eldritch technology.
Very briefly, the pie recitation gets just barely perceptibly louder, and then it trails off all the way to silence.
I don't hear it anymore. I'll keep you posted. But for the time being, I think that we can go on business as usual.
I reluctantly holster my gun.
It is done. Cato, Byrne, you've sort of gotten this all relatively quickly while you are in the avatar chat sort of environment with K and B. Any particular responses while you are being kept apprised?
I make a show of a couple of my faces not paying attention. And I say, dealing with a small matter in meat space. Apologies. 2 faces, of course, say this at once, though both voices are mine.
Naturally. KIB sort of waves, and part of using this interface, I suppose. Hopefully everything's all right.
Further potential complications of the job that you sent us.
Now, on the one hand, I'm sorry that it's become complicated. On the other hand, I'm glad that it was you all to undertake it.
It was a setup on some level.
She cocks her head and says, "Oh no. Didn't seem like it would end up. Well, sorry if I've gotten you into trouble. But it seems like whatever was down there definitely needed to not be in the hands it was in."
Yes, and you were not the only source for this, which is part of why, 1, we're talking, but 2, there's more going on here.
I see.
There was at some point there was a tactical decision on their OPSEC.
Well, I don't usually disclose this kind of thing, but you're doing me a solid and you took the risk on that job, and, well, it only seems fair. One of the bidders at that auction was a professor at GPol, and it was his unsecured communications that leaked the auction to me and others. As a professor, I guess he's never really had to do OPSEC, and so he's how the word got out.
Interesting.
Does the professor have a name?
She hesitates for just a moment and then nods seemingly to herself and says, "Yeah, if I was going to tell anybody, it would be you. Ruprecht Vecht. Applied mechanics. Don't know why he thought he could win."
That does raise questions, but I'll do a little bit of follow-up, see if that leads to anything, and let you know at least some of what I find.
Appreciate it. I hope the information turns out to be useful, and sorry the previous information turned out to be troublesome.
It would have been trouble regardless, I think, but I think our being there made it less trouble. Maybe. In the short term. We'll see.
Well, that makes me feel just a little better.
But as to the more pressing issue, I think we should see about finding our way into some offices. This at Hecate.
A thunk as the voice modulator comes back on.
Indeed.
And as I was speaking, the match sort of simmered down and returned to being just an unlit wodge of sulfur and chemicals.
Good deal. Canby sort of nods and says, okay, well, I mean, Vrutex's offices are a matter of public record. They're not the only company involved in the tools that I was poking around about. But I think that they're a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what one of my sources that pointed me in this direction was. Don't know how many fresh veggies you buy, but there's a greengrocer in the area who's more than he seems. Mr. Choi, you should go see him and tell him I sent you. He might have some, more particular information about Vrutex's facilities than I can offer you.
Were you commissioned to make this tool, or was this a lark?
Oh, no commission. I just thought it would be a good thing to have existing, and found myself in a position to get the information I needed to make it. I didn't really think it through much more than that, which is probably why I'm in the position I'm in.
Fair. All right. Well, I suspect I will soon become acquainted with the greengrocer.
She gives you a jaunty, semi-ironic salute and says, well, you know how to get in touch with me. And thank you for, hearing me out, as much less helping.
If there are any further developments, please do pass those along.
Of course, and I'll assist how I can. Say hi to Mr. Choi for me.
Will do.
Will do. The salute is returned manifold.
One color at a time. Sort of de-renders from the space.
Now that the thing has hushed up again, to ease my nerves, can I have been running anything I could find on Caleb Dryden?
Absolutely. Now you're willing to go through like PSS and station security systems?
On this one, sure.
Okay. Let's have you roll an investigation,
Okay.
which is going to be +5 for you.
Sweet.
Nice.
So 7 + 5 is 12.
Nice.
Okay. Caleb Dryden only shows up in 2 instances. Both are, I think citation might be the wrong technical term here, but it's all I have that comes to mind. For essentially non-payment of housing obligations. There are two instances on which those were turned over to law enforcement, both within the last 14 months.
Same address?
Different addresses, though both not too far from one another.
I take down the most recent address.
Mm-hmm. I will figure out exactly where that is prior to you having to go there. So yeah, you do have that information at any rate.
Any contact numbers in that info?
Instead of contact numbers in that info, notes attached to it that no contact numbers have been in service when they have been tried.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, no, good use of the time there. And in relatively short order, I would assume that Cato and Byrne, trying to use the hacker handles consistently with each other, Cato and Burn.
To be fair, Matchstick is almost always more appropriate than Burn.
Fair enough.
But, however you feel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the two of them are very shortly out of their meeting.
My eyes twist and unglaze, and I take a moment to reacquaint myself with there being only one of me. Or not being composite, or still being composite, but in a different way.
To not being fractal?
Indeed. Or being fractal in a different way. I say, I'll go apprise the others. Up to you if you want to join or stay here and get started.
I think I'll start laying some groundwork.
Thanks for keeping a level, if a flame, head in there.
I mean, you do realize it's a play on the extant hair, yeah?
Nothing kills a joke like explaining it.
I know.
say, and I... For the record, it's a very good joke, I say, on my way out. So yeah, I go out to the others. I apprise them of what we've learned. I say, well, we have some answers. I explain about the GPol professor. I say, we also potentially have another job. I look to Eng as though it's likely he'll want in, and at Cal as though I'm not sure.
Eng gives a slight nod.
I look at Ing and then look at Cato and give an even slighter nod. Though I look as though I've had something sour.
I don't think the po' boy was probably sour, but I take your meaning.
More savory.
Mm-hmm. All right, then we have a very talented gremlin getting started on this as we speak.
I share the information that I learned about our friend Caleb Dryden.
That's interesting.
I doubt there's going to be anything at this most recent address, but it can't hurt to check out if we need to get in touch more urgently.
Meanwhile, with regards to this device, it seems to have stirred, and then gone silent. I'm not entirely sure whether it was responding to just my voice and the auditory stimulus, or if it might be able to understand on some level, or at least process speech. If it's the latter, this is just, I wouldn't even call it a theory, but it strikes me that the recitation of the pi, it's universal, and is it therefore some attempt to communicate with being that it doesn't know how else to reach? Is it pi is, on the one hand, one of the most precise, if not the most precise, number that you can get to, and there's a kind of concreteness and certainty in that, but also unreachable at the end. And so, on the one hand, impossibly precise, and on the other hand, unknowable.
Your optimism is cute,
don't know what any
kid.
of that means. Just trying to understand.
I guess the question is whether it wants to be understood. No, that isn't the question. The question is whether it's also trying to understand.
Yeah. And then on a very practical level, what happens if it wakes up while we're out?
Yeah. Nothing good. We know what it does when it lashes out, but we don't know what it wants to be doing. When it doesn't feel threatened, is it just pie all day, every day, or is it trying to achieve something?
Yeah. The more that we can find out about it, the better. But in the meantime, we can't just wait for things to happen. If there is some new job and my skills can be of use, perhaps it'd be some way to occupy our time while the seeds that we've been planting have emerged.
Yeah, well said, well said. I just wish I knew what stimulus got it muttering again. That worries me.
Hmm.
If we're out and it gets excited and there's no babysitter, then what?
Yeah, and what or who is it that tried to breach containment from the outside? Another
There are
question without answers right now.
a lot of candidates.
I would guess the
Well,
professor. Applied mechanics. Probably has
it's an
something to
interesting
do
thought.
with the drones.
That might be worth looking into.
Do I know Ruprecht Vecht?
You have definitely heard the name, but Professor Vecht seems to use mostly digital textbooks, and so seldom affects you directly.
Mostly uses digital textbooks. Could I conjure an excuse to bring something a little more physical? Maybe that's an in-character question. Could keep it professional. The only one who was seen there, at the auction I mean, was the officer, and the officer didn't look like the officer at the time.
That's a good point.
Maybe that's a way to begin. Like you said, we're waiting around for something to happen. We might as well engage in a little bit of subterfuge to pass the time, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think it's time to act, especially with the PSS. Well, that hornet's nest been kicked, so...
What does Rupert Vecht look like? Out of character, the relevant query here is whether this person was one of the pair at the table at Izakaya Po'boy that I was not present for.
Well, if we take the question to be something that is an investigation eventually shared among folks who were there, it is likely that the other person at the table at Izakaya Po'boy was indeed Professor Vecht. He has relatively few distinctive features, but his faculty directory photograph on the GPol website has the somewhat unlikely combination of receding hairline and flyaway hairdo that was present on the other person across from Kova at Izakaya Po'boy.
Darn. I guess it didn't roll well enough to recognize his voice.
And do we know whether or not he was actually physically present at the auction?
No one with that hairdo was present at the auction. But
the other bidder had a baseball cap on.
Yeah, since most people were wearing head coverings of a variety of sorts, that's not conclusive. As Robin just pointed out, Cal didn't recognize Ruprecht's voice in Izakaya Po'boy, but that doesn't mean a ton. Because there are really only a couple of voices from the auction that you'd be equipped to recognize.
So,
particularly at very distinct volumes from one another.
Yeah. I suppose this is in the discussion of eventual discoveries rather than the groundwork that I had been back there laying.
Mm-hmm.
Which would probably be a start of general backstop research into Vrutek and Vecht and Mr. Choi. But as far as the sharing period of things go, Cal gets a text inquiring, and direct, not a group chat text. Do you have any sort of warrantless surveillance powers on people's geolocation from their phones or things? Might be useful for Someone whose OPSEC gave away the game to the entire fucking neighborhood.
Do I, Adam?
I'm inclined to say that PSS at large might be able to do such a thing, but you may not be able to initiate it your own self.
I respond with, not unless you want the whole hornet's nest involved.
God, at some point I have to let you get me into that system.
Ask nicely.
Pretty please, with a cherry on top.
I'll get back to you.
It strikes me that as we move into the research phase in this Saturday evening for our next undertaking, this is a pretty good time for us to take our first roll for economic shocks, as it happens before every mission. So how this works is you roll 2d6 plus your burden. I believe all of our players are sharing the burden with somebody. So that means that you get to treat your burden scores as one lower to a minimum of 0.
Okay. For some reason I thought it averaged.
That's nice.
I'm glad that it doesn't, because I don't want to do the math.
Fair.
So you'll roll 2d6 plus your burden. On a 13 or more, you suffer an economic shock, and on a 15 or more, you suffer 2.
Ooh.
Okay, so 2d6 plus burden. So I got a 4 and a 1 plus 1, so I should be okay.
It sounds like you're okay.
Total of 9, so I'm fine. That is, for the listeners at home, an adjusted burden of 2.
Yeah, my adjusted burden is 1.
My adjusted burden is also 1, which means with the dice, that's a total of 10.
All right.
And you said that it's reduced by 1 if we're sharing it?
Correct.
Okay, then my adjusted burden is 0, and I've got a 7 on the die.
All right.
Money bags over there.
Yeah. Nobody suffers an economic shock this time.
Thank heavens.
We will leave the possibilities aside.
Since you have to move when you suffer economic shock, how would that work with, say, me?
Well, that's one possibility.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was a specific guarantee.
No, it is. It is one of the things that can happen.
Okay.
That would be an especially bad one for you, to your point.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Since
we'll
burn those bridges when we get there. Yeah.
So,
okay. Point of order. We kind of have a dipartite mission here. We've got investigating Vect, which is sort of to do with the baby babysitting.
Main storyline.
And then we've got this, I suppose, side quest, for lack of a better term. Is this all preparing for one mission, and is it sort of up to us to decide on our efforts, or do we effectively need to pick which of those things is the mission right now?
I mean, currently, the specific objective that you have is in connection with KMB's extracurricular activities. That, I think, is...
that's the job currently.
That's the job.
Yeah, definitive enough goal to be a mission.
I like it.
Like,
the rest is just investigating. We probably shouldn't let fall too far by the wayside since things are in motion. Got it. Into it. Cool.
And, who knows what we may find digging up this anthill.
Indeed. I was mostly just thinking ahead to what prep might be spent on, or what kind of prep makes sense. Yeah.
So at this point, officially, the prep from the last mission is gone now. It's no good.
Of course.
But we can, probably not this session, but in the near future, begin assembling prep for KMB's mission. This will be much more in line with the time frame that is specified in the rules for prep of, a day per personal prep and a week per group prep to amass these things. One thing to keep in mind is K&B has not given you a
budget.
Well, a specific timeline. You can kind of establish your own sense of urgency here within limits. And, that's not guaranteed to have no effects, but, unlike the auction, K&B does not have a, I'm due in court on this date or whatever at this point. Though, who knows what the future might hold.
These things tend to move very slow until they move very fast. Okay. Well, immediate lead is the greengrocer.
Immediately does the greengrocer. I am probably doing some light coding.
Well, it is getting into evening, Saturday evening here. You have more information and more direction than you had before. So I suppose the question on the table as we are sort of looking toward wrapping up here is, how are we choosing to dispose of our evenings as we are taking our kind of first steps into effectively mission number 2?
I do some light research to find out what books Professor Vecht may have had on a syllabus previously that are out of print and perhaps physical, so that I can come bearing a gift.
All right.
I don't know what that would be, what kind of role that would be, or if it would be a role, but that's one thing I get up to for sure.
Okay.
I try to find ways to trace Vecht's sort of digital signal, and otherwise start trying to map out who the LLM players in Grand Cross are, and whether there are any that are less OPSEC even than Vrutec. Well, I suppose this is less OPSEC and more just actual digital security, but Matchstick is Mumbleteen and has very clearly latched onto a phrase.
My forthcoming kids picture book, The Mumbleteen Hacker.
It's a whole series. The first one deals with OPSEC.
That's where it all begins.
The second one deals with cops.
The third one deals with backstopping, which is how you become real.
Cal, anything particular for Saturday evening?
Have I already looked up this professor through the PSS networks?
You don't find anything. The word on my tongue is crimey on him. PSS, because it's such a local campus specific thing, will turn up that he complained very vociferously when his, let's say, teal moped was dinged in the sort of parking and storage areas. It took like 2 weeks to close the file, but otherwise he seems to keep his nose clean.
Does it say which parking and storage area that teal moped is in?
It sure does. When he takes it to work, so you don't know for sure where he keeps it when it's not on campus, but when he brings it to work, he keeps it in the sort of underground parking garage of the JDB, the computer science building at GPol.
What does JDB stand for?
Joseph Diego Building, named after a donor.
Okay.
Who very light research will show is affiliated with the Off-World Cartel.
Mostly I just wanted to defuse any potential Easter egg bombs you were laying.
Fair enough.
If it comes to, I'm not above tipping over a moped, and
it's certainly easier than a cow.
Oh yes.
And more ethical.
Indeed.
If it's not being too presumptuous in the storyline, I would like to drop in on a religion class that is ongoing, that I'm just kind of auditing, not for a grade.
Sure.
Yeah, just, see what I can learn.
Classes aren't in session currently, but the various kind of campus religious institutions operate through semester break.
Fair.
And you can certainly drop in on one of those. I'm going to semi-randomize what it is you actually end up going to. You go to one of the places you occasionally frequent and are involved this evening with some specifically Zen Buddhist meditation in one of the sort of shared facilities that alternates night to night which campus religious organization it is hosting.
Is Cal at the apartment?
Cal?
Presumably.
Okay. Cal, do you mind if I borrow some moisturizer?
I narrow my eyes at you for a moment, then realize that I am not, in fact, talking to a teenage boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And pass you the moisturizer with a very questioning expression.
I just need a bit. It just, every once in a while, need some upkeep. And sure enough, squirt some onto, a gloved hand and take care of the arm.
Yeah.
I look
and the moisturizer tube back
somehow and horrified at the same time. The gloved arm probably smells like cheap vanilla.
All right. And I go to sleep.
Well, not the gloved arm, but the arm and your gloved hand smells like cheap vanilla.
That's what I was taking it as being. With that, at various times and in various stages, everyone's tasks eventually loop them around to going to sleep. And Cal, in sort of the last thing, looking out your window before you pull the shades for the night, is that while you've been out today, the mural that got painted over, its replacement has been started on, and what has happened here is becoming clear. It appears that the Indifferent Ape on Wii Club's mural infringed on the trademark or copyright or something of fast food chain Burger Kong, who are now putting up their own almost identical version of the same mural, if the basic layouts are to be believed.
You are slowly destroying Dez with the treatment of IP in this universe.
It is not a targeted attack, but the exaggeration is very much intended gross distortion.
I'm just impressed that they can get through a lawsuit that
quickly. We may find out the behind the scenes story at some point here, but until we do, I think this is where we are going to end our session tonight. So there's no XP award this time because we haven't hit any particular milestones. But I invite our players and listeners to meditate on the image of a tacky mural co-opting a civil rights cause being painted over in gray so that it could be painted over in a different advertisement co-opting a civil rights cause with the same basic iconography. I can't take credit for this entirely, as the mural in question is one of the pieces of art in the Hardwired Island book. So if that sounds very amusing or morbidly incites your curiosity, go have a look at that. Check out Hardwired Island. It's a good one. But that concludes this session of Dice Punks. Thanks for joining us. I hope our players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, that you'll join us again next time. If you're hearing us now, you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found almost any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com, and on co-host and Tumblr is at dicepunks. That, I think we're ready to say farewell, so say goodbye to the kind folks back on Earth, players.
Thanks for listening, and, none of us here love rainbow capitalism, but it's much more worrying when you stop seeing it,
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you're feeling po' boy, just order your favorite neighborhood officer some donuts.
I was wondering if Des had frozen.
No, that was me just marveling at the degree to which Robin broke herself. Sign off. Thanks for listening, folks, and you do have to trust someone eventually.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone, and as Adam said, if you like us, you can subscribe, you can share. If you like us, just fluff out your feathers, give us a full-throated squawk, and dance around enthusiastically.
The pigeon spin also works on me.
And as the poet once said, when you try to they hide deep inside, is it someone you know? You're just a picture, an image caught in time. Beloved listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stick around through the admin stuff for some very helpful information. The main theme for this campaign, Augment or Die, is by Emerson Boatwright and our very own mechanical person, Drew. You can find links to more of their music in the show notes. Editing and our cover art was done by Joanne, who's appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet where she goes by Anything So's. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by the one and only Officer Armitage, Robin. Hardwired Island is by Paul Macievik, Freya Erlingsdottir, and Minerva McJonda. You can find Hardwired Island at etten.itch.io/hardwiredisland, hyphenated. Links to the system and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's reward enough on its own, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord and access to the Dice Peaks after show for episodes 1.1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
G'day, Sheila's blokes and all folks. Whether you're an andro or just some bio looking for quick auto maintenance tips, I think you'll find something of interest in this here handy guide to caring for your biopots. When you get your first biopots, you may feel a bit daunted by just how much maintenance they need. Don't get your budgie smugglers in a twist, though. She'll be right. Just start with the basics and you'll find that caring for your pots are well worth the effort. So, let's start with energy needs. Unlike andros, who acquire this electrical power directly, a significant majority of the human chassis is dedicated to generating energy indirectly by means of a series of biochemical reactions. While bioparts do require electrical energy to function, avoid charging your bioparts directly. It may seem counterintuitive, but bioparts are surprisingly vulnerable to catastrophic overload when exposed to even a couple hundred volts. So, from there, let's move on to sleep and rest. Whether you're planning on handling your bioparts often or just as an as-needed basis, do keep in mind that they do need rest. Look, I get it, folks. Interacting with your parts can be heaps of fun, even if they're oddly squishy. But if once you're done, you gotta give them a rest. Enough said. From there, we'll move on to the eyes. These babies dry out fast. Eyes thrive in a moist environment, and humans accomplish this by dragging a moist membrane across the eyes every few seconds. I know it seems weird, but it doesn't seem to bother them at all. But you can accomplish this by something similar with a simple auto mister if you don't own eyelids. So next up we go to limbs. These fascinating little cylinders are filled with a small collection of beams operated by a pulley system. Before my fellow andros get all judgy at the primitiveness of this approach, just consider what humans have managed to do with them over the years. Honestly, that's a topic for another day, but let's focus on the maintenance. Aside from needing a mild electrical stimulation to create movement on a daily basis, limbs do also benefit from occasional moisturization. It's a little-known fact, but limbs also require occasional pruning. The protruding bits of keratin are not a design flaw and should not be removed completely. However, they should be cut back if they extend past the end of the limb's digits. Lastly, we'll go on to teeth. Bones should usually not be left exposed to open air, but teeth are the exception that proves the rule. Teeth that are used to chop through things should be buffed with a soft brush between a few hours after use. These are often the easiest to acquire, when you're just getting into the hobby, since humans do shed them a few years into their life cycle. An andro who wants to acquire some teeth on a budget should be aware that that bartering for teeth with children is a normal human custom. The buyer is traditionally referred to as a tooth fairy, though it is true that an android taking on this role is an innovation on that tradition. So just a little bonus fact on the brain. Although the only ethical way to own a brain is to grow one yourself. But I've picked up a thing or two about their maintenance from observing humans. Psychologically, there are some similarities, more similarities than differences between humans and andros. But one important thing to keep in mind is that if you don't take care of the brain well, the bioparts attached to it don't function so well. So put some effort into the wrinkly pink CPO, and you'll be right as rain.